Howdy everybody. A couple days ago I saw the new romantic comedy Celeste and Jesse Forever. I thought it was okay. I'm going to give it a 6, I guess. Maybe a 7. I mean, it was okay. Romantic comedies always have to go uphill for me. Romantic comedy is probably my least favorite genre, basically because romance and comedy have never been in the same room for me personally. So I've never really identified with the films very much. So they offer me no real chance of escape. Usually it just makes me overanalyze myself and wonder what the hell is wrong with me. Now this usually isn't about like ludicrous romances, what I like to call ludicrous romances, something like Something About Mary, which is absolutely hilarious, and about love and romance, but it's too hilarious and just too out there to be considered a traditional romantic comedy. It's more like a ludicrous romance. Those I enjoy, but romantic comedies, whatever. So I wanted to see this because I had heard that it is a little bit groundbreaking, rule-breaking, genre-bending of the romantic comedy. Also, as any warm-blooded man should, I have a slight crush on Rashida Jones. She's just pretty as a picture, and so I figured going to see her for 90 minutes wouldn't be too bad. It's about Celeste and Jesse. They are best friends and they are married, but the film starts with them getting a divorce. We don't see this or know this, but we see them behaving as a couple. We think, oh, this is a perfectly happy couple. Turns out they are in the throes of a divorce, where I guess it's Celeste isn't so ready to get a divorce. Jesse is, signed the papers and everything, but they're still friends, and they're still hanging out all the time. They're still going out as a couple, like with other couples, and, yeah. So it's about their journey, finding new love and dating and trying to forget each other and fighting and lying and, all of that stuff, relationship stuff. And really that's what it's about. It's about a lot, it's a lot about human emotion, but, it's a fairly simple story. Rashida Jones co-wrote the film with the director. I can't remember the director's name right now. I want to say it's a debut film. He's got 3 names. But anyway, co-wrote the film, Rashida Jones did, with the director. I believe Rashida Jones is also a producer. This is supposed to be like her kind of autobiographical story. This was very personal to her. I think it's because the director and the co-writer is like her Jesse. I think she and the director are Celeste and Jesse Forever. And I think that they made this film, if I remember correctly. I also know that Andy Samberg, who is also in the film, he's Jesse. he and Rashida Jones were at one time a couple or best friends. I don't know how that goes, but everyone like knows everyone here. You know, it's very familiar. It's very relaxed. It had that relaxed feeling. You got the the palpable feeling that everyone was having fun making this film, which is nice. It seemed like I wanted to make a point there. But the point is that it's a very relaxed story, and there's a lot of investment, personal, emotional investment with the actors, with the director, so you can tell just everyone cares, and that does come off the screen. It makes you care. It just wasn't for me anything new. I don't know what else to say. I felt like that I had seen many movies like it. It was just another romantic comedy. Again, I was sort of built up that like, oh, this is a game changer. No, I don't think so. It reminded me a lot of, was just this year, a few months ago. It's on video now. Friends with Kids. It kind of reminded me a lot of that. And I thought Friends with Kids was more, groundbreaking, if anything, which I still didn't think was too groundbreaking. I think I gave it a 7. It's very well acted. It's well acted and well written. Again, there's a lot of personal and emotional investment here in telling this story that I believe that they lived. All the acting is very real. The acting is pretty much dominated by Rashida Jones and Andy Samberg. They're almost basically in every scene. I believe Rashida Jones is in every scene. With the exception of maybe a couple. But the acting is all very real, all very centered. And it's basically the two of them. There are other characters and other actors in the show. Elijah Wood is also in there. Who else? I'm not really remembering. There were some familiar faces, definitely some familiar faces, but the names aren't coming to me. All the acting is really good, but the satellite characters, the secondary characters, the best friends, they come and they go. They're not there all the time. And again, this film is dominated by Samberg and Jones. And they really, this is by far the best acting I've seen Andy Samberg do. I'm not the biggest Andy Samberg fan. I like The Lonely Island. But, as far as SNL cast members go, other than his unbelievable Nicolas Cage impression, I've never really, loved Andy Samberg. He's okay. He's all right. He's a talented writer, I think. I think he's a better writer than he is performer. But all the acting was good. Rashida Jones, gorgeous. She really nailed it. Knocked it out of the park. Again, I wish she had something like a little bit better to work with. I didn't laugh so much. I laughed here and there, but as a romantic comedy, I thought it could have used some more comedy. But I did laugh here and there, and some of the laughs were pretty big. There is a bias here, and I'm trying to get to that. One thing I thought was fantastic and definitely stood out was the soundtrack. Rashida Jones is the daughter of legendary producer Quincy Jones. As you would imagine, she has incredibly good taste in music. As a producer on this film, I have no doubt that she wanted to make sure that the music, the soundtrack, was of the utmost quality, and it certainly is. The soundtrack is awesome. This is a soundtrack that I kind of want to buy, just because, one, they had a lot of old soul music. I'm totally into that. They had some music that I'd never heard before, but was like, oh man, that's awesome. And some old tracks that you hadn't heard in forever, and you just forgot how good they are. The soundtrack is great. Seriously, it's like a soundtrack you want to go out and buy. I haven't like looked it up on iTunes or anything, but I don't know. I may have to buy that because it's got some great music in it. One biased thing. This is a movie about Los Angeles. This takes place in Los Angeles. And it's a Los Angeles film. LA is very much a character in the film. And that is kind of what I don't like. It's accurate. I will say that if you want a glimpse inside of, elitist LA, uber hipster fake life, then you can definitely look here. Again, there's a certain amount of, bitterness and jealousy here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm mad at it a lot because I don't get to participate in it. You have to have, an extremely large amount of disposable income to do anything that the characters in this film do. They're just super, super trendy. No one works much, but everyone seems to have a lot of money. Where is that money coming from? They're eating in the best restaurants. They're going to like hip underground clubs. They're going to see like concerts of no-name bands. It's just that LA hipster lifestyle that I find revolting. But you definitely get what I would call an accurate glimpse into that. And, it's a film made by lifetime native Angelenos. So it's like they really know what it's like to live in the city. I kept on wanting to say that they were mocking, these people that do that. But the more and more it just seemed like they were a part of the scene. And I definitely think that scene should be satirized, and mocked brutally. But they, seem to do that sometimes, but mostly just kind of said, well, we're in this, so we can't really do that. I don't like that fake, scenester. It goes beyond hipster. I think scenesters are far more offensive than hipsters. And a scenester is just someone who wants to be in the right place at the right time and be seen there, because it's the in thing to do. They have no free will or self-expression of their own, so they must do what, the LA Weekly tells them to do, and what the Los Angeles Time calendar section recommends, or some, trendy blog that I have no idea even exists. So it just, again, it's a bias. It's a personal bias. But I I avoid those type of people, and I avoid that type of scene for a reason. And here it's just, splashed on the film for an hour and a half. So I'm like, God damn. It's just something I don't appreciate. Speaking of an hour and a half, it's a 90-minute film, and it feels much longer than a 90-minute film. I was definitely ready for it to be over. I just got, just a little bored. I was ready to be done. So whatever. I don't know what else to say about it. I think it was very simply directed. I think this is a first-time filmmaker. Nothing too fantastic about the directing style. Pretty straightforward. The shots were well composed. The lighting, everything was dark, but, a lot of the film takes place in clubs, in restaurants where it is dark. So I would call it a naturalistic lighting style. The cinematography isn't anything special, I thought. And the directing doesn't necessarily stand out. But the story is well written and honest, and you can tell that there's a lot of emotion going into this, and they're happy and proud that they're finally being able to make this art. So that's pretty much it. I don't know what else I need to say about it. It was okay. I had a fine time. It was sporadically funny and intelligent. So I'll give it a good 6. I thought it was a solid 6. So that's Celeste and Jesse Forever. Thank you very much.